Hey everybody, it's your favorite Big T. I'm back with another video. Today it is Monday, March 13th. I hope you're having a great day so far. If you could do me a huge favor, before we get started here, please hit the subscribe button down below. Leave a like, leave a comment, and let me know what you think about this video. What I want to react to is a video from Sunny V2 called Nikocado Avocado, the world's dumbest genius. And I've not watched this video, so I'm going to react to it blind. But what I can imagine it's about is sort of how Nikocado Avocado changed from this sort of soft-spoken vegan with a soft disposition into this wild and belligerent person on camera as he's gained more confidence. And it's really a good question, like, who is the real Nikocado? I don't really know the guy's name offhand. I've heard it probably a few times, but I've forgotten it. But is that guy, is the real person the sweet, soft person when the cameras are off? Or is that belligerent Nikocado that we've all come to know, and I don't want to say love, but love to watch, I guess, is that the real Nikocado, who's just gained confidence over the years as he's become more popular and more successful and even rich? He's a multi-millionaire now. You know, he's got multiple channels with over 1 million subscribers on each one. So who's the real Nikocado? And what is the genius behind his channel? I often compare Nikocado to Stephen Asante because I see someone who's putting on an act. I don't know if Stephen Asante really is that jerk, that belligerent jerk that we all see on My 600 Pound Life, who he's throwing urine at nurses and just talking down to people and screaming like a baby and all this other things. Like, is that the real Stephen Asante? Or is he a different person when the cameras are off? We don't really know because we only see him when the cameras are on. And now Stephen Asante is making a lot of money. He might not be doing YouTube videos anymore, I'm not sure, but he's making money off of Cameo. So this personality that he developed for himself over the years, which got him on My 600 Pound Life, which got him on Dr. Phil, has made him very rich and very famous. Is that the real person? That's a real interesting question because we don't really know who the people are that we see on camera. You can see me and you can love me, but do you know the real me? Well, in reality, I am who I appear to be on camera. I don't change for anybody. This is me. What you see is what you get with me. But I know somebody at church who drives a limo, and she was driving around 2 young women who had their own YouTube channel. And she said it was very interesting because when the cameras were on, they portrayed themselves as like 2 dumb teenagers who didn't have a brain between them. And the way they talked was like super fast and super crazy and talked in a high-pitched voice, and it didn't seem like they knew anything about the world. But that's who they portrayed themselves to be on camera. But she said when the cameras were off, they were very well-spoken. They were very intelligent women. So the way they portrayed themselves on camera versus who they were in real life was night and day. Like, they were very generous and they were throwing money around because they were successful on YouTube. So I don't know who they are, but apparently they live in Michigan because that's where she drives her limo. But yeah, she said it was night and day. So it's very interesting to ask the question, is Nikocado Avocado different when the cameras are off? Is Stephen Asante different when the cameras are off? I don't know. But I guess we'll watch this video and react to it, and you know, we'll see what happens. Let's get started right now.
Nikocado Avocado is a genius.
But I'm actually very, very smart.
And in this video, I'm going to tell you why. If you don't know who he is, he's basically this overweight dude with an idiotic persona who got huge on YouTube, no pun intended, by doing mukbang videos where he would literally just eat stupid quantities of food.
His whole channel is him eating a ridiculous amount of food.
Obviously, it doesn't take all that much investigation to find out that his journey is in fact a train wreck.
I mean, yeah, when you see all these videos that he's doing, it's like within a day of themselves. It's not like he's doing one massive mukbang per week or something like that and working off the calories. I mean, I follow a lot of competitive eaters, like Beard Meats Food. He's a really great guy. He's muscular and he's well built and he's very skinny, despite the fact that he eats and goes to the restaurants with some of the biggest portions and stuffs himself. And there's a difference between him and Nikocado Avocado, who does mukbangs almost every single day and eats massive quantities and has gained over 250 pounds. So there's a way you could do mukbangs and do it in a healthy way and still lose weight because Beard Meats Food, I believe he fasts before and he fasts after he does his challenges. And so that's why he's able to maintain his figure. But Nikocado just doesn't care. I mean, he just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and he actually applauds the fact that he's getting bigger.
However, after getting somewhat invested in his story, I think I've come to my own conclusion that this man's absolute train wreck of a life is one of the most legendary stories to ever come out of YouTube. And while he plays the persona of being an idiot, I think that a lot of his success has come from extremely intelligent strategies that are very rarely seen by other creators. Strategies that I'd like to expand upon in this video, so let's begin. Is Nikocado Avocado a total moron? Yes, obviously, look at him. But then let me ask you another question. Does being a total moron mean that you can't also be a total legend? Absolutely not. In fact, it seems that the sad reality of life is that it's almost uncool to be a winner, to be successful, to be at the top of your field in any kind of domain, while on the contrary it's become a status symbol to brag about how bad you are in certain domains.
I mean, just think about the title of this video, The World's Dumbest Genius. Okay, he's a genius. He has this strategy. It's allowed him to gain millions of subscribers. He's a multi-millionaire at this point. He can throw money up in the air and just like swim in it for days on end, right? He's got so much money. So in that way, he's a genius. He's successful. But what he's done to himself, to his body, gaining over 250 pounds, that is dumb. That is beyond dumb. And to me, that's not worth the money. If somebody said to me, Tony, I will give you $100 million, or even heck, I'll give you $1 million to gain your weight back and to do mukbangs and stuff like that, I would absolutely say no. Because I've been there. I've been being super morbidly obese, and I still kind of am. But I would not go back to that lifestyle for anything. For anything. Like, that's dumb to do that. So what he's doing to himself is absolutely dumb. So yeah, it's genius that he's popular. It's genius he found a way to get subscribers and to get millions of views and to make millions of dollars. But it's absolutely stupid what he's doing to himself. And the worst part about it is that he is attracting other people who see the success that he has and is trying to emulate him. Because they're doing their own mukbang channels now and they're gaining weight for the sole purpose of clicks and views, because they know Nicocado's doing it and getting popular. They know Hungry Fat Chick is doing it and getting popular. There are so many people out there who are not like Beard Meats Food, who are not doing it in a healthy, responsible way. They're completely irresponsible about it, and they're harming their health, and he's dragging people along with him.
We all know that 160-year-old who's like so proud of the fact that they can't use any kind of technology. Yeah, you just have to show me how to open up the Internet Explorer because I don't have the time to learn despite the fact that I'm retired and I just spend 80% of my life sitting on my ass at home. There have become many who remain completely inept at daily life skills for the sole purpose of retaining some kind of abstract significance. Sure, if you're at the top of a field, you might get rewarded with money and other forms of compensation, but what I'm trying to cement here is that success does not equal legendary status in any way. No, in fact, in Australia at least, it's almost the total opposite. The fat guy who spends every afternoon at the pub sinking tinnies is the total legend. And what is Nikocado Avocado if not the YouTube equivalent of the fat dude at the pub who's doing nothing but sinking beers? Now this whole concept is totally arbitrary, and being that fat overweight dude on YouTube doesn't automatically guarantee legendary status. In fact, when I think of other YouTubers who are famous for their weight, such as Wings of Redemption and Boogie2988, it seems to be that they're some of the most hated individuals on the platform. It also seems to be a similar kind of story for those fat acceptance advocates. They're all hated by society. So you might ask, what does Wings of Redemption, Boogie2988 and those fat acceptance advocates have that makes them hated rather than loved? It's not their weight itself, but rather their inability to laugh at their own weight and situation. An element that Nikocado Avocado has actually perfected. I'm getting
Yeah, I think he makes a good point here. I mean, Nikocado puts a lot of comedy behind his stuff. So if he can make you laugh and he can make fun of himself and his fatness, and he makes you laugh, then you don't hate him for it. You actually are entertained by it. I actually saw a comment the other day when I did that Hungry Fat Chick video, and she said, said something bad about her, like, hey, you're doing this to yourself and your own selfish greed, etc. But then finished it off with, but I am certainly entertained by it. It's like, yeah, if it's entertaining, you're going to keep watching it. But what a lot of these other people do, they're not entertaining about it. They make excuses for themselves and just. I haven't watched too many of like Boogie's videos. I might react to one at some point, but I mean, I don't understand why he's hated yet. I totally understand why Amberlynn Reed is hated now, because I actually put out a video where I was defending her slightly, and it said it looks like she was somebody who was trying, but then everybody came back at me really fast and was like, no, you're being manipulated by her. She does this often. And so for 10 years, Amberlynn Reed has been making the same videos, seemingly having progress, getting people behind her and cheering her on, and then she turns it around some ways and makes you regret cheering her on. And she's been doing this for a decade now. So people hate people like Amberlynn Reed, but they love people like Nikocado Avocado because he just doesn't flat out care. He doesn't care. And no matter what you say to him, no matter what comments you put on his page, he simply does not care. And so because he doesn't care, the people who watch him do not care. And so they can just flat out be entertained by him and not hate him. I don't say I hate him because I don't hate anybody at all. I don't care what group you belong to. I don't hate you. You're a human being and I love you. But yeah, I just don't like what Nikocado Avocado does, and I think it's disgusting and I think it's dangerous.
The hunchback! I look like Shrek!
As shown in many other various Nikocado Avocado documentaries, Nikocado Avocado actually used to be quite skinny, but as a result of all the eating on his channel, he gained an insane amount of weight. Now obviously this is not a good thing from a health perspective, but it ironically gives him the opportunity to show himself as quite a confident guy, specifically during an interview with Keemstar earlier in the year.
You have gained so much weight recently.
In September 2020, Keemstar uploaded a video titled Nikocado Avocado Too Fat, which was literally just a 10-minute meme of Nikocado Avocado just laughing at his own weight.
And I can't lose weight. I don't know why. I can't.
Now, Nick, do you throw that up after the episode?
Does it look like it? When I go on the treadmill, my muscles get stressed and they release all this liquid. That's just what it is. And for some reason, I'm still overweight. So I'm pretty sure it's just water.
Nick, you uploaded this video where you were celebrating your 2 pounds
water.
lost of weight. And you celebrated it by eating 18 Subway subs. Okay, you're not going to lose weight that way, Nick.
And that final clip where
He's not trying to lose weight. He puts out shirts that says it's just water weight, right? He's making fun of his obesity. He celebrates his obesity. There's videos of him and Hungry Fat Chick stepping on a scale, and it shows that they gained weight, and they're cheering it on. When he goes to the Heart Attack Grill, he was angry that he wasn't over that 350-pound mark to get a free meal, and they found out that the scale was actually something was stuck on it, so it didn't go down all the way. So they removed the obstacle, and then when he stepped on the scale, it went back to being 360 or 370 or whatever he was at that time. And then everybody was cheering him on, and he was so happy that he had gained enough weight to get a free meal. So yeah, he's not taking this seriously. He's not taking his health seriously. He doesn't care. He's making fun of it.
Keemstar confronts Nick about his video titled Celebrating My 2-Pound Weight Loss, really just displays his sense of humor when it comes to his own unfortunate circumstances.
I'm thinking about doing a collab with my doctor.
The whole thing is clearly a joke. Come on, in the 2-pound weight loss video, Nick eats 8-foot-long Subway subs as a response to losing 2 pounds.
You have to lose another pound.
I've lost 2, thank you very much.
But here's where the genius comes in. Rather than feeling like a victim to his own weight like Boogie2988 or Wings of Redemption,
Playing the victim all the time. I am a victim.
Nick has actually just owned the fact that he's super fat and adapted his weight as a part of his brand.
Okay, that really makes sense why people hate them. Because if you act like you're a victim, nobody likes that. Nobody says you're a victim when you're overweight. It's like, anytime that I try to show any sympathy towards somebody who's obese and might be dealing with trauma, I get a lot of comments from people. People who just seem to really, really hate fat people. And they make comments like, why are you showing sympathy to them? They did it to themselves. They deserve every bit of misery that they're dealing with. And it's like, wait, listen, I know that there's all kinds of things like trauma that people deal with. Like me being physically, mentally, and sexually abused my whole life, and having a stepdad try to kill me, and being neglected by my parents, and my dad going in and out of jail and moving all around and being homeless and all that stuff. Like, yeah, I was traumatized by all that, and it led to me finding a coping mechanism that allowed me to have some comfort in my life. And so I understand overweight people, but I don't ever portray myself as a victim. Even though I talk about my circumstances, I portray myself as someone who is overcoming all of that, someone who's being victorious in his weight loss journey, you know and that's who I am. Like, if I got on here before and was just talking about how, oh, I'm just a victim, I went through this and that, I can't lose weight, it's impossible, and just making excuses for myself, that'd be totally different. I probably wouldn't have gained the subscribers that I have. But the reason why people rally behind me and cheer me on is they know I'm working hard at it, they know I'm trying, and they love the success that I'm having. But just by me saying, hey, I understand the trauma that you went through, really ticks some people off. And I even had somebody said, well, you're just a fat person who's, patting the backs of other fat people, just celebrating your fatness. I'm like, I've never celebrated my fatness. Never. Not once have I celebrated my fatness. I've never once portrayed myself as the ultimate victim. I've talked about my circumstances because I want other people who've been through the same traumatic events that I have to realize that you can change, that you can get help, that you can find therapy, that you can get involved in a program and find a support group and get the help that you need to overcome your circumstances and lose the weight and get healthy. You can do it. You can do it. So that's why I talk about my past experiences, not to portray myself as a victim, but to show that you can have success and to encourage other people. So I guess people like Boogie, I guess, I have only seen like one or two of his videos. I don't know his whole story. Really just play into the whole victim card part.
I bathe twice a day sometimes, and I still smell like cheese.
We broke up because I'm too fat. Weighing myself and eating black bean noodles. I'm gaining so much weight and now my clothes don't fit. The adaptation of Nick's weight into his branding is actually such a genius strategy. Why? Well, mainly because Nick runs a mukbang channel. It's literally a channel where all you do is eat ridiculous amounts of food. So steadily gaining weight over a 4-year period almost gives it a feeling of character development. And as the weight stacks on over time, it just gives him more and more opportunities for clickbait, as well as another element worth discussing: people making videos on him.
One mukbanger who has often found himself at the center of criticism is Nikocado Avocado.
Now, I'll preface this part by saying that I don't think Nikocado Avocado's reputation really matters at all. As long as he doesn't do anything to wipe himself out of the game altogether, such as, dying, he can have the worst reputation on the planet and people will still watch. Why? Because people are literally just watching him for his negative reputation. So when other people make videos exposing him or documenting how fat he's become, which we might add has been done extremely extensively, this is not a negative but rather a positive, as all it does is adds to the exposure that Nikocado receives. Alternatively put, the only reason that people watch his channel anyway is just to laugh at him.
Well, people like a train wreck. I mean, that's true. When I talk about my own weight loss journey, and I get a lot of requests from people, it's like, hey, Big T, why don't you talk more about your weight? Why don't you talk more about your journey? And I'm like, those videos barely get any clicks or views. Hardly anybody watches them. If I can go back and scroll through all my videos, and anytime I talk about myself or my journey, they get much, much less than when I do a My 600 Pound Life reaction. Or talk about Nikocado, or talk about the Slayton sisters, or anything like that. And the reason for that is people enjoy watching the train wreck. And yeah, a lot of you come on here because you like me, somebody who's been over 600 pounds talking about that and sharing my experiences with that. And a lot of you do cheer me on and stuff like that. So I'm not saying this is everybody who watches my channel. But I notice a dramatic difference in views when I do my 600-pound life versus when I talk about myself. And maybe I should talk more about my journey and my life experience and stuff like that. Maybe I should do more of that because I do get a lot of requests for it. But I also notice that a lot of you stop watching when I don't do that. I mean, when I do those kinds of reactions and stuff. So, I don't know. People just like the train wreck. And it's sad. They see Nikocado Avocado literally killing himself on camera. Hungry Fat Chick literally killing herself on camera. But they can't peel away for some reason.
The negative exposure does nothing except increases the channel to his traffic without actually damaging his reputation any further, because it's already like as damaged as it can possibly be. And as previously mentioned, it's not like there's been any shortage of creators giving him negative exposure through various avenues of content. TRO's documentary on him gaining 4.5 million views, Christopher Tom's with 800,000 views, some ordinary gamers also gaining 800,000 views. People are invested in his story because they want to see the train wreck. Therefore, people
Exactly. They want to see the train wreck. I'm glad he said it because it kind of validates me saying it. Because I felt bad saying it because I'm like, there's certainly going to be people on here like, oh, we're not watching a train wreck, you know, he's just entertaining or whatever. It's like, no. I mean, it's obvious. People like watching the train wreck. That's what gets clicks and views on YouTube. And it's sad that we're more entertained by people destroying their lives than we are about people trying to fix their lives. And that's why these people do not feel like they would be successful having a redemption arc and trying to lose weight. Because if Nikocado Avocado felt like people would keep watching him, if he was trying to lose weight, he would probably have done it already. But he knows him getting fatter is going to make him richer, and that's why he continues to do it. Somebody actually told me when I did the Hungry Fat Chick video, they said, well, you know, she's actually talked about losing weight before, but she's afraid that if she did that, people would stop watching her and she wouldn't be making as much money. So yeah, people love the train wreck. They love watching people destroy themselves, and it's much more profitable than any other thing. It's more profitable than if people are trying to lose weight, and it's sad.
Making videos about his train wreck life are not a negative, but instead a positive. And ironically, all the negative videos actually make his life worth following, as well as provide an element of likability. His whole channel is set up for people to laugh at him and for him to be the whipping boy of YouTube. And everyone loves that person. We love the dude who we can just rip on and they literally don't care. We love them way more than the dude who gets butthurt about every single little joke you make about them, like Wings or Boogie. We have respect for voluntary whipping boys because they're rare. It's a seriously uncommon person who can laugh at themselves and their own flaws. And it's an even rarer person to set up their entire life around being that whipping boy, which is why Nikocado Avocado gets my respect in that aspect. Now, another thing that I see a lot of people talking about is how unhealthy the relationship between Nikocado Avocado and his boyfriend is.
Stop! Or an empty container. Ow! Ouch! You're fat. Stop being rude.
Now, call me a conspiracy theorist, but I'm gonna guess that this apparently awful relationship is just another smart ploy to ensure a returning audience. We have to take this theory and implement the points that were previously discussed. That Nikocado Avocado's strategy is literally just to gain as much attention as humanly possible, where negative attention usually ends up being more of a positive than actual positive attention. And for this reason, there's actually an incentive for Nikocado to make his relationship look like a train wreck on the internet.
I mean, yeah, that's part of it too. He's framing his relationship as being abusive because that's part of the train wreck. People enjoy watching that. If he had a healthy relationship with his boyfriend, why would that get clicks and views? So again, it's just part of the train wreck, and that's what keeps people watching. Because they love seeing them throw food at each other and hitting each other, and it's just gross.
The attention, all the people commenting about how they need to fix things, people constantly checking in to see what's happening with the drama, the fact that Nikocado can use their breakup for clickbait. Everything to do with their apparent toxic relationship adds to the traffic received on Nikocado's channel. For this reason, I'm going to take the unpopular opinion and say that I don't think they have any out of the ordinary problems in their relationship. I'd say that the entire thing is an act. Why? You can just tell from the body language, humor, and the way that they talk to each other. Now, I'm probably getting out of my domain here talking about relationships because, I mean, look at me, I'm practically a Reddit mod for the incel subreddit, but I don't think a genuinely toxic relationship has this much communication and humor towards each other. Toxic relationships seem to be where neither party talks to each other, there's no communication, and the general vibe is that they constantly have their hands around each other's throats. I don't think a relationship is all that toxic if you can constantly joke about dumping each other because you're too fat.
Or than left me for being too fat. I am too fat for Orthan.
If anything, the fact that they can constantly joke about each other's weight on camera without either getting genuinely offended shows strength in their relationship, not toxicity. My personal favourite example of their fake toxic relationship was in November 2019, when they uploaded a video titled "We're Breaking Up for Good," with them crying in the thumbnail and video.
And you keep saying divorce, and maybe we should just divorce. You keep saying it over and over.
Then 2 hours later making a new mukbang video while literally wearing the same clothes as in their breakup video.
But literally, we just got done filming a video 2 hours ago, and we were screaming and crying, and I edited out all of it, and I just left the crying part because I don't even know what to do.
Now guys, you couldn't even go to the effort of changing your clothes for recording the second video 2 hours after having an emotional breakup. You're not only on good terms again, but also filming another video together. Clearly their relationship isn't exactly on the rocks. But this whole aspect is just another element of Nikocado Avocado's genius. He knows people are gonna call him out for it. He knows that people will comment on it and boost the engagement. He knows exactly what will get a response and continues to churn it out over and over and over.
Yeah, exactly. It's making up the breakup part because he knows breakup videos are very popular and they get a lot of clicks and views. I mean, I've seen many of them, couples who got successful together and then, oh, we're making a breakup video explaining that we're breaking up. I mean, I think a real breakup would not be two people sitting in a room talking about them breaking up. That's just fake, in my opinion. A real breakup video is, you know, either you're not going to mention it or you might mention it briefly, but it's not going to be for your whole audience to see, right? Like, that's just putting on a show for more clicks and views. It's clickbait to get more people coming back. And so for Nikocado to get 1 million views, constantly talking about the same thing over and over again, putting out multiple "we broke up" videos, it's all part of his genius, and people keep watching it, and it keeps getting more and more views because people think they have a genuinely toxic relationship when in reality they don't.
Then, while not related to intelligent strategy, I think it's also important to discuss Nikocado's work ethic and resilience, mainly relating to the drama between him and Stephanie Sue in late 2019. Stephanie Sue uploaded her "Why I'm Scared of Nikocado Avocado" in December 2019, where she basically went over how Nikocado Avocado made her feel uncomfortable once, gaining over 10 million views and putting Nick in seriously hot water. Now, the impressive part about the drama to me was that Nick literally just didn't even slow down on uploading despite everything that went down. After uploading a response on the 31st of December, Nick uploaded videos on the 2nd, 4th, 6th and 8th of January as if nothing ever happened. Now, I guess simply uploading videos isn't all that much to brag about, but doing it while having more than 10 million people despising him with dislike ratios of 90% on each video, all during the Christmas period and New Year's period, is pretty impressive. That kind of drama would have taken 95% of other creators out for good. And meanwhile, Nick was just pumping out 4 videos a week as if nothing ever happened. So I guess it's a pretty weak point, but I get the vibe that Nick has a pretty strong work ethic.
I mean, he's pretty untouchable. I mean, if he gets dislike ratios of 90%, and he still gets millions of views, like, people are enjoying the toxicity of it all. They enjoy it. I mean, it's really weird to me. I don't...
Which I have to say that I do have respect for. So to conclude, despite half of Nikocado Avocado's act being to basically seem as stupid as humanly possible,
I'm actually a very knowledgeable person, if you haven't already been able to tell. But I'm actually very, very smart.
I think Nikocado Avocado is far from stupid, and I guess, depending on how you measure it, shall we say, I think he's a pretty smart dude. Now, he's certainly not a genius in health and fitness, but for marketing and branding and YouTubing, he certainly knows what he's doing. He's tricked an entire audience into thinking that he's this miserable, sad dude with like an absolute train wreck of a life. But I would say that behind closed doors, he's probably a fairly content dude. He obviously thinks very highly of himself and is comfortable in his own skin. And my question to you might be, is there really any difference between thinking highly of yourself and being happy? To me, when I think of people like Wings of Redemption and Boogie 2988, it seems like all their unhappiness is derived from the fact that they don't think highly of themselves. And to me, that's one thing that Nikocado Avocado has over the other overweight punching bags of YouTube. Perhaps Nikocado Avocado, in a strange kind of way, is the polar opposite of Dan Bilzerian, making his life look way worse than it really is in order to drive traffic to his site. And it seems to work for him. Just look at his statistics. He gains over 30 million views per month across his 5 channels. Throw in his OnlyFans, Patreon, cameos and other business elements and he's probably making more than $2 million per year. He clearly knows what he's doing. He clearly has his head switched on. I guess that's the end of the video. Alright, so yeah, like the video and subscribe, alright? Subscribe.
Alright, so that's apparently how I should turn my videos if I want to be more successful on YouTube, is just talk about how much of a train wreck my life is. Instead of my life is getting better, I'm doing so much better and I'm losing weight and feeling great and becoming more active. I'm just kidding, I'm not going to do that. But I love telling stories, and Nikocado Avocado is certainly a story I'm sure we're not done for, at least for a while, but I hope he does change things before it's too late. I mean, obviously, I really hope that for him. I don't think the weight gain is worth the money he's making right now, unless he thinks he's got plenty of time. He's still fairly young, but I guess we'll see what happens with Nikocado Avocado in the future. And if he decides to turn it all around and lose the weight, I will be his biggest supporter then. But until then, I'm just more worried about him and frustrated that he's actually dragging other people behind him who think gaining weight and putting the train wreck on camera is going to be good because the money's worth it, when it's really not. But anyways, let me know what you guys think down below. Leave a comment, and I guess I'll see you guys next time. Love you guys. God bless you.